Look, blindness isn't aspirational and I wouldn't recommend it. However, luckily there are some perks. I'm Jen from A Certain Eye. Let's dive straight in. So let's talk about the money first, right? So because I'm legally blind, there are some savings to be had. I don't drive a car, so therefore I don't have to pay for car fuel, insurance, maintenance or registration, or buy a car. So that adds up to a big saving. I also get reduced fares on public transport, and that's trains, trams and buses. So I can still get around in an economical way. I don't spend much money on eye care, which is weird, right? Given I've got eye problems. But look, these babies, they're just there to make me look more intellectual and help with an astigmatism. But look, I've had them for over 10 years and they're fine, and there's no need to change my prescription. And if you are an eye care professional, no need to weigh in on that. Thank you. I get reduced cost into events and entertainment, mostly, not always, but mostly. And just recently, I got 2-for-1 tickets to go and see Cyndi Lauper in concert. Don't judge. And look, you know, I actually didn't physically see her. I mean, I was in the stadium. She was in the stadium, allegedly. And there was a great vibe in the stadium. And so it was worth the late night. I avoid impulse buys. So all of that stuff that is strategically placed at the checkout on the way out of the grocery store, I just skip. Although I know it's chocolates there. So if I'm desperate, I will reach out to find what they've got, because you can't get out a shop without seeing a chocolate at the checkout, can you? And about 10 years ago, I was lucky enough to get a scholarship for vision impaired students. And that scholarship allowed me to conduct my studies using a brand new Mac and iPhone. I did have to complete my studies, so if I withdrew from my studies, they would also withdraw the Mac and iPhone from me. I got to keep the Mac and iPhone after I completed those studies. That was pretty good, hey? So you get the gist. The list does go on, and I feel very grateful for these. I don't know if you'd call them perks actually, because you don't want to go out of your way to have no sight or low sight. And just so we're clear, all of this also has not made me rich, because if I was rich, there is a chance that I may not be here sharing my time with you. And look, I love sharing my time with you, but this would actually be a really good time to subscribe if you haven't done so already. So thank you. I also get a bit of the VIP treatment occasionally. So if I'm catching a plane, I get to be one of the first ones on. So no queuing, and that just allows me to have a bit of extra time to, one, find my seat and work out where I'm going to put my bag and be able to find my bag again when I'm getting off the flight. And there's times that I can skip other queues too. And I don't intentionally try to skip the queues, actually. I'm often just led to the front, and people are very helpful to make sure that I get the help that I need. Being legally blind is also the ultimate get out of jail free card. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your text. Oh, if I had realised there was a mess, I would have cleaned it up before you got here. I didn't see you out this morning when I was with the dog. And I never have to be the designated driver, ever. And I can't see spiders. Trying to work out if that's a good thing or not. On one hand, there's no panic attack when one magically appears on the wall. And then on the other hand, that just could be anywhere. Actually, the one thing about spiders is when if I feel something like crawling on me or like anything like that, I have this big panic and I think, oh no, it's a spider. And usually it's just my hair. When you can't see people clearly, I tend not to judge them on their looks and more about who they actually are. So I don't care if you're wearing fashion from 5 years ago. I wouldn't know what the fashion from 5 years ago was. I don't care if your hair isn't looking the best. Mine's not looking the best. But what is important to me is the way that you make me feel. It's like having a built-in filter that gets rid of all that superficial nonsense. And what's not to love about that? Nothing builds resilience like navigating a world not designed for you. And look, that's okay most of the time. I get creative and find ways to adapt and use my brain in terms of lateral thinking. So I do like to use my brain and find workarounds for things, and you'll be amazed at the workarounds I've found that have genuinely been helpful to not only me, but to other people too who can see. So look, I'm not saying vision loss is all sunshine and rainbows, because it is not. There are real challenges that I've talked about in other videos, but focusing on the difficulties of it is really only half the story. So sometimes things that seem like obstacles end up giving really unexpected advantages. And often they're really funny stuff that make for great stories. So if you've enjoyed this video, please hit like or subscribe to A Certain Eye and check out my other content. Until next time, I'm Jen, and thanks for watching.